Okay, well, hello everyone. Thank you all for joining today. I'm Fiza. I'm the treasurer of WiCyS organization here on the Illinois Tech campus. And today we're basically going to give you a small information session about the WiCyS 2021 conference and everything that you need to know about it if you're interested. Can we go to the next slide, please, Rashini? All right, so our agenda looks like this. First of all, we're going to talk about what WiCyS is, right? Like it's called the WiCyS 2021 conference. So we're going to talk about what WiCyS is. We're going to give a little overview of the student chapter here on Illinois Tech and what we do. Then we're going to talk about the WiCyS membership, following into the WiCyS 2021 conference. Everything with the timeline and the logistics with the scholarship and all the details about the conference. And then in the end, we're going to have some past conference attendees can talk about their experience when they attended the conference, either in the past years.
So to start off, WiCyS is a community of engagement, encouragement, and support for women in cybersecurity. It's a national organization with various student chapters around the country, and there's also regional chapters. So there's one in Chicago, for example. And it was started in 2012, and since then it's been growing pretty quickly. I think the first conference only had a few hundred, and in 2019, when I went, there was about 2,000 attendees. So overall, the mission of WiCyS is to empower women in cybersecurity and to make sure that we have the resources and support to be successful in a career in cybersecurity. So our student chapter specifically has a few different programs. We just started doing our cybersecurity workshop program. The next one is coming up soon. We're starting a mentorship program that's coming up next semester where students can be paired with so younger students like first or second years can have the opportunity to be paired with older students who are maybe juniors, seniors, or grad students. We also provide information to all of our students about the conferences, the career fairs, and other events that WiCyS the national chapter has planned for everybody. And this semester, we're also planning to have a hackathon, which is going to be coming up in November. And we have some bonding events, and usually we do NCL training sessions, which is a national cyber security competition. But this semester it's been a little bit different because of COVID, so we've been postponing that until next semester to have sessions about that. But overall, we want to get women interested and empowered in cybersecurity at the Illinois Tech community.
Awesome. So let's talk about the WiCyS membership. Now, even though WiCyS here, we have a local student chapter on campus, WiCyS is an international organization, and they have a membership program. So basically for students, it's an annual membership fee of $20, which means that students will be paying $20 for the whole year. You just pay it once in the year and you're good for the whole year. The benefits for the WiCyS membership is that you get priority information about student opportunities, so scholarships and other job resources. So WiCyS actually has a mailing list of all their members, and do keep in mind that this mailing list also, and they also have a newsletter, so that goes out every week as well. And do keep in mind that this mailing list and the newsletter does not just include students, but it also includes industry professionals who are also WiCyS members and other faculty members and other people. And they're always, the first thing that they do whenever they have a job opening or any internship opening is that they put it on the mailing list or the newsletter for WiCyS, and it gives WiCyS members a first priority on those jobs. So that's a great benefit. You do need to be a WiCyS member to attend the conference. That is a requirement. So another benefit for the WiCyS membership is that you get to attend the conference and you get to experience that. And of course, get to receive the WiCyS conference scholarship. So if you are not a WiCyS member, I would highly recommend to check that out. You can get more information about the WiCyS membership and the benefits of it on their website, and just apply.
Yeah, thank you, Fiza. So again, just to really drill that down, you need to be a member to attend the awesome conference. So highly recommend taking a look into that. So the conference is going to be from March 25th to March 27th in Denver, Colorado. The scholarship application opened on September 1st, and it's due on November 1st. So the reason we put in the scholarship application is because in order to attend the conference, you must submit a scholarship application. Students can't pay to get in, they have to be accepted through this application. So once you submit your application, you'll find out whether you are accepted to attend or not on January 4th of next year. So this is just a brief overview of everything WiCyS conference related. So we have different categories here, like the student poster competition, call for sponsors, and workshop signups. And this is all to do with the conference. So you can participate in the conference by presenting your research or your posters, and WiCyS will either accept or deny it. And it's really cool if you do get accepted, because you will have the opportunity to tell people or just, showcase your research and skill set. Aside from that, a lot more of this information about these specific poster competition or their sponsorship is all on the website.
Okay, so let's quickly talk about the WiCyS 2021 Conference Scholarship. As Harshini has already mentioned, you have to apply for the scholarship and be accepted as a student to attend the conference. You cannot pay to get into the conference. So some things about the scholarship. Again, you have to be a WiCyS member. So if you're not, highly recommend you go learn more about it and do that. So the conference registration fee is $40. And then there's the travel part of it. So the scholarship covers your lodging and your food. So if you get accepted into the WiCyS conference, you do not have to pay for your lodging and your food. That is covered by the conference. Registration and travel is not covered. But I know that a lot of people get discouraged by this because travel is not covered, and I understand that can be expensive. Please do not be discouraged by that. The WiCyS student chapter tries to get funding for any members who have been accepted to go to the WiCyS conference and try to get that paid for them. In the past, we've had for 2019, we've actually had the ITM department sponsor the WiCyS scholarship travel for any members who attended the conference. So that was really good. We didn't really had to pay anything for travel. Last year, when the conference was supposed to happen, but then it got canceled last minute because of COVID. This year. The WiCyS student chapter was able to get the funding from Finance Board for the travel. So if you are like not applying just because you don't want to spend that much money on travel, don't be discouraged by that. WiCyS student chapter can pay for it. Even if you do have to pay, it will be a minimum amount and it will be the whole thing. So registration is usually paid by you have to pay the registration fee. We've tried in the past to get the WiCyS student chapter to cover the registration fee from Finance Board. It hasn't really worked that much, but again, if you have to pay $40, just $40 to go to a conference, I think that's not that bad. So again, we will be working with Finance Board again this year to try to cover all that thing. So some of the questions, like what does a scholarship look like, right? So the scholarship basically asks you some personal and academic information, such as like, what's your name, what's your major, what school you attend, and stuff like that. They also ask you questions about your experience in cybersecurity. That is okay if you have not had prior experience in cybersecurity. That is completely fine. They are trying to find people who don't have experience, so you can come to the conference and get that experience. So if you do not have experience, that's completely fine as well. The two main questions that they ask you on the scholarship is, why do you want to attend the WiCyS 2021 scholarship? And then how are you going to help further the WiCyS mission by attending WiCyS 2021 scholarship? So those are the two main questions, basic scholarship questions. Go to the website, search about them, learn about them, and then try to answer them. Another thing that I do want to recommend is that on the scholarship, there's a faculty staff recommendation, which is sent directly to the person. So basically, and this is actually highly important, because if you are trying to finish up the scholarship like a day before it's due, please don't do that. Try working on it now, because of the faculty staff recommendation portion. Reach out to a faculty member, a staff member, a professor, someone that you know who can give you a good recommendation. That person does not have to be related or be in the field of cyber. Just ask them if they can write you a recommendation letter, and if they agree, in the WiCyS scholarship, when you're attending, you just have to put the name of the faculty or staff member and their email address, and then the recommendation portion will be sent directly to the person. You don't have to do anything about, getting the recommendation letter and then sending it back to them. No, WiCyS handles that directly with the staff member or the faculty member. So highly recommend reaching out to someone that could write you a good recommendation letter, and then putting that into your scholarship.
And so I think you guys can see that this is highlighted in purple. We have included links to the scholarship portal and to the actual conference overview website. So we'll send this out in an email later. And if you're not in the mailing list, just send us your email in the Google Meet chat, and we'll make sure to get it to you. So we've talked about what it's like, what the point of being a member is, what our chapter does, what the national chapter does, but what actually happens in the 2021 conference. There are a variety of different events that they have put together. So this includes lightning talks, which is basically like panel discussions. They'll be talking about a specific topic in cybersecurity, or what it's like to be a woman in cybersecurity. There's Capture the Flag games. So you can work on your cybersecurity skills with a bunch of other women, which is really cool, because usually it's mostly guys who attend these events. There's a bunch of company hosting events. So large companies like Facebook or Cisco, or I think Bank of America also had one a couple years ago. They all will have like big networking events for students and other cybersecurity professionals to come and meet with them and meet recruiters. And it's really just a good time, because they have like food, they have drinks, and it's really just meant to get to know each other. Like I mentioned, a lot of the top companies, tech companies, are there, and they all join us for a huge career fair with top global tech companies and other companies too. So I would say one of the best parts of attending the conference is simply being able to meet all these different people. There's extremely, extremely intelligent and inspiring women who attend the conference every year. And overall, it's just kind of a really good way to earn yourself a vacation while still working on yourself and your career. So now me, Anthea Gonzalez, and Fiza will be talking about our experiences attending the WiCyS conference, both in person and online. So we'll start with Anthea.
Hello. So if I had to think about the one thing that I took away from the in-person one, which was 2019, was I found probably one of my lifelong mentors and someone who I know will advocate for me. So like Harshini mentioned, a lot of the big companies have like a meet and greet, and I went to the Cisco one because they had like breakfast food, and I was like, oh yes, this is the booth for me. And there aren't a lot of Hispanic or Latino women in cyber, and so when I went in and I saw Mariana, I kind of went up to her and I was just told her like, oh, thank you for existing, without much explanation. And she was like, that's really weird. But then I like kind of told her like, oh, it's nice to see like someone else that looks like me here. From then we hit it off. She reviewed my resume, got me the interview for Cisco, and now I've worked with her for 2 years. So very good. That's probably the thing that I got the most of it, was I know that she will advocate for me for whatever, and then she helped me get my foot in the door. And then the virtual one, well, it wasn't the same as in person. I think it was still nice to see everyone like logged in online trying to get that experience, and made a lot of LinkedIn connections. Because as of right now, the conference is in person, and hopefully we'll be able to meet up in person. But if not, I don't feel that the online one won't be the same, because I still got a lot out of being able to attend, even though it was from like my couch.
Thank you so much, Anthea, for sharing your experience. I definitely had a similar experience when I went to WiCyS. That was the first time that I was ever, contacted by such large companies and asked to interview. It was super exciting for me because I never thought I could ever get that opportunity, especially coming from a smaller school like Illinois Tech, where a lot of big companies don't usually recruit from. But when I first signed up to come to the conference, I had no idea that I even wanted to do cybersecurity. I just signed up randomly. I was like, oh, whatever, this should be fun. Like, I can go on a vacation. But it ended up being super, super life-changing, because now I'm obsessed with this field. I love it so much, and I couldn't see myself doing anything else. The connections that I made at the conference, the people I met were all so incredible. And I got my first internship through it. So, I mean, I'm just really, really happy with how things turned out. Aside from that was the in-person conference in Pittsburgh in 2019. So this past year for 2020, we had to do it virtually. And like Anthea mentioned, it wasn't exactly the same because, we didn't get that in person and all those connections. But there still was a really nice virtual career fair where everyone was there. And they had a lot of different lightning talk sessions. So the panelists were all still there. It just wasn't obviously wasn't as interactive. And you can go ahead, Fizza.
Awesome. I think that the best thing that probably I loved about the 2019 in-person conference would had to be a bunch of the lightning talks and a bunch of the CTF demos that I attended. So I actually attended the conference. I was very confused about cyber and if I wanted to pursue that or not, or I just wanted to learn more about it. And when I heard about this opportunity, I was like, sure, let's go. I kind of had the same mentality as Rashini, where I was like, oh, I'll just go for fun, time away from school, a cheap vacation. And then I went there and, being able to just see all these companies doing different demos and teaching you so many different things about cyber. And I feel like every session that I attended, I had more questions and I wanted to learn more about it. And that was really cool. And I think one of the most inspiring things was that there were lightning talks happening by these amazing, amazing women who were already in the industry. These are women who were there in the cyber industry when no one else was there, where they had experiences where they were the only women in their office. And being able to hear about that and that experience and how they have grown and have, just gotten that experience was just so amazing to learn that there are women in this field and they're doing so great. And that was amazing. And other than that, other than finding, learning more about cyber in general and academics, I actually had a really great time. in general. I did get that cheap vacation, I would say. You know, Anthea was my roommate, so we had a lot of fun. It was in Pittsburgh, so we ended up going around seeing the city. It was just a really great time. So, you know, you got to have that fun portion, but you also got to learn so much and meet so much and get to like experience this great thing that was life-changing. So yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing, Fiza. So now I'll leave it up to you guys. Like, do you guys have any more questions for us about, you know, either that scholarship, the application process, what it's like at the conference, or anything of that sort? Please let us know. You can type it in the chat or unmute yourself.
Real quick, I do have one more thing to say, is that if you guys want to go, please finish your homework beforehand, because Fiza and I had this thing to do, and I was probably one of the stressful things, was trying to do everything for the conference and then turn in this like ridiculous like program that wasn't running. So just make sure you plan ahead of time, because you're gonna want to like put your 100% into every experience of this conference.
Oh my God, I totally agree with that. The conference happens over a weekend, and it's just try to finish whatever assignments you want to do. You want to focus everything on the conference and enjoy it. It was weird when Anthea and I were in our room trying to figure out this program thing that we didn't want it to do at the middle of the night. So yeah, fun times.
So Natalie is asking for advice on how to write the email to ask a professor for a letter. So she says, I don't speak to my professors that much, so it feels a bit weird. I would start off by saying, make sure that you have at least talked to this professor at least 1 or 2 times, like they know who you are for sure. I don't think, in general, I think that professors prefer to write recommendations for students that they have like a good understanding of at a high level, at the very least. I would recommend saying, hey, professor, like I'm really, really interested in going to this conference. I'm really excited about learning about cybersecurity, and they are requesting that we find a faculty recommendation. Would you be willing to submit a recommendation for me? It would really mean a lot, and I'm really looking forward to learning more about this industry. So something like that. That would just be my opinion on that. I don't know if Fiza or Anthea, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, sure. Natalia, I would say that as Harshini said, that the professor should know you, and I understand, especially right now when we're mostly taking like online classes and not having that connection with your professor. I've actually asked my advisor to write me a recommendation, and yeah, like you can ask someone who hasn't been your professor, but someone who knows you. My advisor knows me. I have meetings with him every year for stuff like that, so that he knows what I'm doing and he knows that. So he wrote me a recommendation letter, which is fine. Again, in the email, just like tell them what WiCyS is, tell them that you're going for this conference, that they require you for a recommendation letter if he could write one, and explain the process of it. Like, you don't have to write like a Word document of a letter and send it to me or something like that. Just be like, WiCyS will contact you on their own, and they will have specific instructions on how you could fill in the recommendation letter. So yeah.
And sorry, I mispronounced your name, Natalia. But I just wanted to add on to that, just regarding the scholarship, if any of you want to any more advice or want us to review your application, feel free to email the wicis@iit.edu email, and we'll be happy to like take a look at it and see if you could maybe change something to make it better so that you submit a really good application overall. Any other questions for us today?
So the scholarship application, you have to get selected. It's not like, oh, anyone could get in with the scholarship application.
Yeah, that's correct. So especially if you're a student, well, I mean, only if you're a student, you cannot pay to get in. The WiCyS like national chapter selects students based on their applications only. What I do want to mention though is you don't have to have like super like high skill set in cybersecurity. They're really just, I think it might be more of a tracking mechanism. I'm not sure why they're doing that specifically, but everyone is welcome to apply. And I'm pretty sure they took a look at you overall versus like how much experience does this person have.
That's true. When I first went, I had zero experience in cyber. I didn't even know what cybersecurity was. And I mentioned that in the application. Like I have zero experience. I don't know what this is, but there's a program in my school for this, and I want to know more about it. And I got the scholarship, and I got selected to attend the conference. So do not be discouraged if you do not have that high of a skill set. You just need to be interested in cyber and have a passion on trying to find out what it is. That's it.
And it looks like the time is up for today's meeting. If you guys have any more questions, please feel free to reach out to any of us. And you can also reach us at the WiCyS@iit.edu email. And thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, everyone.